Well, welcome back to another episode of Husbantr. We're so excited to be back in our new setup.
Do you love?
I love. Oh, it's so exciting.
Cute. I love it.
Well, this is going to be a great episode, but before we kick it off, we want to introduce a brand new segment called
Word of the Gay. So let me give you a little bit of backstory. We were talking to our good friends Alicia and Joe. Hey, Alicia and Joe. And Joe, being a straight man, was listening to the first episode and he heard a couple of things that he was not aware of what they meant. So we're always trying to create a safe space. So we're here to educate. So today's Word of the Gay is
Golden Gay.
A golden gay is a gay man who has never had sex with a woman. Me.
Not me.
Not to be confused with a platinum gay, who is a gay man who has never had sex with a woman, but also was born via cesarean section.
That is true.
That's interesting.
Hello, everyone. I'm David.
And I'm Jay Brandon, and this is Husbantr, the podcast where we talk about careers, relationships, and some life lessons we picked up along the way.
But from the point of view of two queer married men of color.
Please note, we are not professional lawyers, doctors, therapists, life coaches.
But sometimes the lessons you learn from your friends are the ones that end up sticking, so stick with us.
Husbantr is genuinely a space for anyone that wants to gain insight from a different perspective. And that includes you.
Today's episode is a little different. We are going to spend some time getting to know Jay Brandon, and you get the opportunity to hear about his journey to celebrity makeup artist, why I consider him my person, my best friend, my soulmate. And listen, I live with this man, but I'm in awe of him every day. I learn something new from him literally all the time. So stay tuned in here because I guarantee you're going to walk away with some nuggets that are going to fill your soul, fill your cup, make you laugh, maybe even make you cry. So let's get right into it.
Oh my goodness. I have to say, like, I've seen you interview people before and they're always like, oh my God, such an intro. That's so lovely. And really experiencing it is a different thing. It's very cool. It's very
so
cool.
Sweet.
You interviewed me when you first started interviewing. So I'm excited to get up to speed.
Oh, look at you. Oh, I'm excited to get up to speed with you. So let's just get right into it.
Okay, I'm ready.
First question.
Yes.
What does the J mean? What's it stand for?
Okay, so my first name is Joanne. That's Jowan, Joanne. My middle name is Brandon, so Joanne Brandon is my name. When I was acting, I wanted to have like a fun stage name, and I thought that a 3 name was a little bit more powerful than 2. And also, the amount of people that get my name wrong is insane. I get Jowan, Johan, Ruin, Rowan, Juvan. I've gotten everything.
And some of those letters aren't even in the name.
Correct. Rowan, you know who you are. Anyways, so I decided, if I truncated my name to Jay Brandon, I was like, that's a little bit interesting. It's different. It's a little ambiguous, if you will. And then after I stopped acting, when I went into the makeup world, I just sort of kept it. But not to be confused with just Brandon. A lot of people leave that J off, and I don't know why.
Yeah, the J does not stand for just.
No, it's J period Brandon. So I like to go by both.
Right. Well, let's talk about your career a little bit.
Okay.
You mentioned you started as an actor. What sparked your interest originally to get into makeup?
Okay. Well, I have always been an artist. So a painter, a drawer. When I was very, very young, my older brother, he is an incredible artist. Oh my, like his art is so great. And when I was little, I would make him draw things for me and I'd bring them to school and I'd be like, oh my God, look what I drew. And I remember there was this picture of Mickey Mouse that I wanted to draw to impress a friend, and he refused. And he was like, no, you're going to draw it yourself. And I was like, but I can't draw. And he was like, have you tried? So he sat me down with a pencil and a piece of paper and made me draw. And to my surprise, it came out pretty good. So I got excited about that. So I was always in the world of art. But in high school, I got exposed to acting and I decided to go to college for acting. And when I was graduated and I did the whole thing, I, auditioned a whole bunch, all that jazz. I really had to sit down with myself and I said, what would be a good opportunity to like meld sort of my love of like the entertainment industry and acting and art? And I was like, well, makeup, that seems like a great thing. And so then I also said to myself, if I were to quote, make it in this world, would I want to see maybe like my art on a cover of a magazine, or would I want to see myself on the cover of a magazine? And, after really talking to myself and having like a very serious inward conversation, I decided that I wanted to see my art more. And then I decided to switch over. Also, the universe helped because I broke my leg really bad.
I mean, I remember when you broke your leg and
Yeah.
you were having these conversations, both internally and externally with me.
Yeah.
You hated auditioning.
I hated
You didn't
auditioning.
and I was like, this is
Oh, I
a major
hated it.
part. I was also an actor at the time. This is a major part
Yeah.
of the process, is the
Auditioning,
audition.
It was just not my thing. Honestly, like, I don't know. I was always choked up. I always just never had enough fun with it. And so I just decided, it was not my thing anymore. And it was makeup that came together to like sort of take that passion. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And for me, it made total sense. I remember you used to, I owned MAC bronzer. It was like the only makeup I owned. And you would bronze me up. And I thought it was the most amazing, like, oh, look at me. I'm getting my makeup done. It was literally just bronzer.
Nothing else.
All over my face.
Nothing else.
But I looked incredible.
Even like, I always was also interested in makeup from a young age too. Because even in high school, I would always like, be like, Ellen's my best friend for everybody, or one of my best friends. And I would be like, let me do your makeup for senior photos, like things like that. So I was just really interested. And then the universe came, made me break my leg, which made me stop auditioning, stop acting, all of that. And I went to my mom and I said, hey, Mom, remember that time that we went to college and I got my degree in acting? Well, I would like to be a hair and makeup artist now. And she was like, okay. Which thank you to my mom for that, because I don't think without her support I would be able to get in there. And then I went to cosmetology school.
Understanding that whole journey, what was the pinch me moment? What was the, am I doing this? I set out to do it. Am I doing this?
That is a great question, because I feel like I've had a lot of I've been fortunate enough anyways to have like a good amount of opportunities. And I think for me, a real big pinch me moment was when I got to do Jennifer Lewis's makeup. I went to her hotel, and when I knocked on the door, I heard her singing. And she's a beautiful voice, of course, and she's singing like almost like a spiritual kind of hymn. And she opens the door and she looks at me and she offers me that energy, right? And she's like, "Who?" Yeah. And I just looked at her like, smiling, just because I didn't know what to do. And she goes, "Oh, don't tell me you one of them white blacks." And I was like, I think so. I think I am. And so it was just really funny, but it was so nice because it was so disarming.
Yeah.
And I don't get starstruck, but I was just literally in the presence of Hollywood royalty.
Oh, she's a legend.
And it was just such a fun moment. We just had such a great time. I remember doing her eyebrows. I did her eyebrows first, and she stopped me and she goes, "I'm gonna stop you right here." And I was like, "Oh no, what did I do wrong?" And she goes, No. I knew you were going to be good because you did these brows. You did these brows. And it was just hysterical.
And she would be honest.
Yeah, very.
She would be very honest.
Yeah, but she looked fantastic. We had a really great time. And I remember walking out of that hotel and really going, I get to do this for a living. I get to work with people and match their insides to their outsides and make them feel great. So that was a real pinch me moment for sure.
I love that you say that you didn't walk out of there going, "Oh, I just did this Hollywood." Yes, that was part of it. But the other part of it was that you helped someone match, as you said, their inside to their outside. So what has makeup done for you in terms of having a different understanding of beauty and self-expression?
Ooh, I think makeup is a really strong tool to help people express. I don't think people that are not necessarily wrapped up in the world of makeup, they express themselves in different ways. To me, I look at it as like today I'm feeling a little mysterious. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a smoky eye so that way I can convey that mystery beyond my imagination.
We talked a little bit about self-expression. For me, you've never been someone who's shied away from being your true self.
Sure.
And we touched upon it, I think it was in the first episode, a little tiny bit. But can you share? I think this is going to give so much insight to so many people and really be helpful to a lot of people. So, can you share a little bit about your coming out story?
So I was about 14 and I remember it was Halloween and I was out trick-or-treating. This was the last year we trick-or-treated because we went to a house and we opened the door and it was a girl in the year below us, Philomena Manzi. And she literally was like, "Oh, you guys are still trick-or-treating," and we were so embarrassed. So anyways, I digress. But I got home. I was dressed as a vampire. I had long hair at the time, so it was like out, like crazy. I had pale makeup on, blood dripping, wearing a black trench coat. And I went into my mom's room because I always would hang out with my mom in her room all the time. And I went in there and she was like, "Okay, I want to have a conversation with you." And I was like, "All right." And now, just to give a little tiny backstory on that, my mom knows. We said it beforehand,
Mhm.
but she really has an innate knowing a lot. And so I was like, "Oh no, what does she know? What did I do?" So I sat down and she's looking at me and she just starts laughing and because of my makeup. And she goes, "Go wash your face." So I went, got washed, blah, blah, and I'm nervous the entire time. And I go back downstairs and I sit on her bed and she goes, "Is there anything you'd like to tell me?" And when you say that to a young 14-year-old kid,
Yeah.
you really go through the motions. You're like, "Oh boy, what did I do? Okay, what did I? Oh my God!" And I was a very good kid. I didn't do a lot of crazy stuff, so I was like really racking my brain. And ultimately, I just did what any smart, sensible kid would do. I just looked at her and I said, "No." And she said, "All right, well, I know you're gay." And I said, I said, "Go, squaws?" And she said, "Yeah, I know you're gay. I've known you're gay for some time now. I watched movies, I read books." And she goes, "I just have one question." And I said, "Okay." And she goes, "Do you think it's a phase?" And I said, "No." And she said, "All right, okay." And she goes, "You're okay. It's fine." And sorry, oh God, I didn't think I'd get choked up over this.
Aw.
But at the time, I have two older brothers, and sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
Oldest brother, Junior, hey Junior, he came up behind me and he gave me a hug and he said, "You're still my little brother. I still love you. Nothing's changed." And so it was really nice because I just got to be
Mm.
and I didn't have to like fight to just exist.
Yeah.
And so, but that's not to say other areas of my life, it wasn't the easiest, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? But even like my grandma, who's so cute, she's 91 years old. She's about 2 feet tall. No, she's not 2 feet. She's taller than that.
She looks like she's 42 though.
She's going to beat me up. But even my grandmother, who is just so lovely, but she's from the old world, as you would say, and she bought me this bracelet once that was a little belt.
Which, by the
Which-
way,
is kind of crazy because I was like 14. This is around the time that I was coming out. It's a little belt, and my last name Correa means belt in Spanish.
Yeah.
Which is insane. But she bought me this little tiny belt, which was clearly feminine. It was clearly not like any like young dude wouldn't wear it.
Mhm.
And she goes, "I got this for you because you're different. You're different."
She's the best. She's
And
literally the best.
I was like, "Oh my God." It was so cute. So, so that happened. And of course, my middle brother too, we were playing video games. It was really shortly after, I think it might've been that evening. We were playing video games and he was like, "Yo, how come you didn't tell me you were gay?" And I was like, I don't know. But and it was a moment and we like talked about it. And it was just really nice to know that I had the support of my immediate family. And honestly, once I had that, I was like, I don't care what this world is doing.
Yeah.
I know that the people that are closest to me are always going to uplift me. And so that's how I came out. And then in school, I told people and everyone was like, "Yeah, we know." And I was like kind of hoping for like a blowout fight at some point, but it never happened. I mean, it happened with my dad, but
We'll get there.
oh boy.
But I will say, I obviously know this story, but it still hits. It hits right there because how freeing it felt for me to finally be able to be out. And I don't think that I felt fully out till I was in my late 30s.
Mm.
So to imagine that you're like this carefree 14-year-old, you already don't have that many inhibitions.
Yeah.
And now you're being told by the closest people around you that you're fine as you are and we love you. That's incredible. You're so blessed.
Yeah, I really am. And, I want everyone listening and watching to understand that I don't take that lightly. I know that I have moved through this world in a way because of my family. And without them, I wouldn't be doing any of the things that I'm doing.
Can we talk about family a little bit?
Yeah.
So there is family, the people that you're born into, that group of people you're born into, but then there's also chosen family.
Yeah.
And now I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
Eh.
What just happened? I didn't mean for that to happen.
Wait, this is, I think, the fourth time I've seen you cry.
I didn't mean for that to happen. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it tells you how much I love these two people I want to ask you about.
Yeah. Oh, I already know.
You have such a beautiful relationship with Rosie and Ellen.
Thank you.
And they're your chosen family.
Mhm.
And I think they're so incredible. And I love watching the three of you. Like, I sit there and you've brought me into the fold and I get to participate in your girls' nights.
Girls' night.
I'm pretty sure it was me, you, and Rosie that created that.
Yes.
But I watch the three of you when we're together and I'm in awe of this like deep sisterhood that the three of you have.
No, it is a sisterhood for sure.
What about them makes them your best friends?
I think that at the core of who I am and at the core of who they are, we're the same. I think that they always,
but you're also so different.
But we're so different. That's the thing, is that like, we're the three of us we couldn't be more different, but we all have this weight that is our soul, and our soul speaks to each other. And it's a moment where the three of us can sit and do absolutely nothing and be silent, but be fine. Or we can all be fighting because we fight a lot.
I love when you fight because it's so funny.
Oh my God, it's hysterical. But we know that nothing is stronger than our bond. Like nothing's going to break us up. So it's funny because like we get to be super candid with each other.
Yeah.
We get to, really kind of tell the things that you wouldn't normally share.
Yeah.
And because of that, like I can truly confide, I mean, outside of you, but I can truly confide in people and not feel judged.
Yeah.
And they know that they can get the same. And so I think that is the reason why we just stick together.
Yeah. And I know that they had you first, but I really do. I feel so safe when I'm with them. Yes. But I also feel safe when you're with them. So if you go away to have your girls' weekend with them, I'm completely at ease because that's your family. Like it would be as though you went out with your brothers and I could never be upset.
Right. That makes sense.
It's the same exact scenario.
Yeah.
Let's flip it.
Okay.
You've had a complex relationship with your dad.
Yeah, very.
We've had a complex relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
How has that impacted who you've become today?
Ooh. I would say a lot of what I went through as a kid with my dad, I would call, and I'll get into it, I will. But I think a lot of people would end up guarding themselves. And I really decided to run headfirst in the opposite direction because like I was looking around at my life and I was realizing that most of my stress and strife was coming from one source, my dad, not from around me, not from all over the place. So like for me to shut myself off to the world around me only because it's coming from one place, it didn't make sense. And I didn't want to move through life with this chip on my shoulder. And so I won't lie. I mean, as I get older, I think about how my dad reacted to me being gay, to just how he was possibly raised. And I'm starting to like create a little bit of space and give him a little bit of grace. He's a black man from the South,
Mm.
and whose ideal image of a man is you know married, children, working, providing, all of those things. And here I come along, tap dancing, literally, which that only lasted a year, but still, tap dancing out there. And I could maybe understand that, like, him looking at me is like, well, he'll never be successful,
Mm.
because his definition of success is different than what
Mhm.
my definition of success is. And so, I think that basically when my dad found out I was gay, he found out because my oldest brother told him. He Junior, I love you, but you cannot keep a secret. Gemini. Anyways, he told my dad. My dad came over and he was like, "So what is this I hear about you being gay?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And he was like, "Well, if you," and I want everyone to also listening before I continue the story. I love my dad. I love my dad a
Mhm.
lot.
It's complex.
It's complex, but I don't. So everything that I'm saying, like I don't. I'm not villainizing him.
Right.
I'm just sort of like recanting what happened.
I mean,
And
the truth is the truth, and your
Right.
feelings are your feelings.
Yes, and sometimes if you're not careful, feelings can color the truth,
Mhm.
right? And I'm trying hard to be objective here. And so he came over and he's like, "What's this I hear about you being gay?" I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, if you see another man and you like appreciate his good looks, that doesn't mean you're gay."
Mhm.
And he was like, "Me, I look at men all the time. I say, oh, that's a good looking guy." He's like, "I'm not gay." And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "But if you want to kiss them and touch them," and it just got a little inappropriate. He was like, "Then you're gay." And I was like, "Well, then I'm gay." And then he brought up my mom, and it was like a whole thing. But it was just like a long journey. And I think a lot of my childhood, I feared my dad, because he was the man.
Mhm.
And we would get in trouble and blah blah blah. So I think I feared him, and then there was a time where I turned to him and I just said, "I don't fear you anymore."
Mm.
And I think that me choosing to not let that experience of my life
Mhm.
guard the rest of me from the rest of the world. I think without it, I don't know who I would be, honestly.
I'd be interested to know how you think your work influences our relationship, but I also want to know
Hmm.
if if this is even a thing, does our relationship affect your work? And if so, how?
Ooh. I definitely think they affect each other both ways.
Okay.
Um, I love when we get to work together in an official capacity,
Mhm.
because it's doing your makeup is always it's just lovely to me, because like I really get to show you who you are in a
Mm.
way, that how you see yourself, if that makes any sense. And so I really enjoy like working together with you in that capacity.
And I have to say, you're so good at taking care. And I know that you're not doing that. Maybe you'd give me a little extra love.
I would say, honestly, if I'm being very honest, I give you a little less.
Figured.
Because it's just kind of like, I'm just like, "Can you just sit down, please?" And I just do what I need to do. Or if you like turn your head, I'm like, "Turn your head back this way," Sorry, that makes me sound so rude.
It's okay.
But you get what I mean. Just because like you have to be a little bit more tender with some people. But I think that like I see a lot of people, I have a lot of friends that are like personals for a lot of like celebrities and
Mhm.
things like that, or they go on these like long like tours
Mhm.
and things of that nature. And like I just don't know if I could do that because of our relationship.
Mm.
And it's not because I think you're holding me back or any stretch of the imagination. It's just I don't think I could be away that long.
Oh, you went away for the first time in a long time this week.
Yeah.
You were gone for 3 days.
Yeah.
And I've gotten used to you traveling a lot.
Yeah.
And I've always liked my alone time. But it'd been a while. And you came home yesterday, and I said to you, I was like, I am so happy you're home.
I'm so happy
I was
to
like,
be
this
home.
is so exciting.
Yeah. But it's just like when I traveled a lot, I think I got used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I could always count on at least being home for a little bit of time. But if I had to be gone for like 2 to 3 months at a time, I I would not be able to get my battery refilled.
Our careers, yes, they do intersect and we've had the opportunity to work together,
Mhm.
but they are also very different. And we're both going, I think, equally as heavy
Yeah.
on getting to our goals, reaching where we want to be.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for couples in similar situations that are both pursuing big goals, but they just may not be directly aligned? They're not parallel.
You have to be honest with what you want to happen. I feel like so often there are people who feel like they're in competition with one another.
Mm.
And I just don't understand that, because there's room enough for all of us to exist, because guess what? We're all literally existing together right now,
Yeah.
right? And when you're in a relationship with someone and it's truly someone that you see as your person, you want them to be just as successful, if not more successful than you are yourself.
Mhm.
So that honesty and then that support is also important. But when I say honest, I mean being honest about what that person, how much you truly can believe in them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like you won't let me audition for American Idol, which I would probably never do since
Stop it.
Carrie Underwood is a judge on that show
Goodbye.
and I don't like her.
Goodbye. Jesus needs to take that wheel.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yes, like I know you joke around about singing blah, 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 but I would never, ever let you do anything that would embarrass you.
Thank you. If you had to choose someone else
Okay.
to be your co-host of this
Aw.
podcast, it could be anyone though.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyone.
Okay. Okay.
Who would it be?
All right. Raven Simone.
Is it because we have the same birthday?
It is. You actually do have the same birthday, December 10th. I have always been obsessed with Raven.
You have.
I have since I was a kid. I mean, she and I are the same age. And I watched her religiously in everything that she did. And I think it's because she was like the physical manifestation of like my personality in a way. And I was watching the Disney Channel and wanting to be on the Disney Channel, and she was there. And I was like, she's so similar to me. Where she's a girl, sure, but you know, it's fine. So definitely Raven Simone, because I feel like we would have a really fun rapport. I think that there would be a lot of deep conversation, a lot of silliness. But like, also I feel like there'd be like some kindred moments as well. So Raven Simone, if you by chance are listening to this or watching this, I would love to have you on the show.
But not as the co-host.
But not as the co-host.
I'm still here.
No. We'll have you on as a guest.
Yeah, correct. Okay, you know what time it is. It is time for Husbantr Hot Takes. This is where you all get a little bit more insight into who we are. And this week, it's gonna get hot. Of all the people you've worked with, who was the most memorable?
Oh, definitely. I would probably say Nikki Glazer.
Oh.
Yeah. Just because like she would try out material. We would like be just hysterically laughing. There was a couple times where I was like, girl, you got to stop. I need to finish your hair.
She is my favorite comedian.
She's
so
out of control. She's out there killing it.
I'll accept your apology at any point because I have yet to meet her. Next question. Name them.
Okay, Sutton.
Name them.
Yes.
Give me your top 3 makeup client wish lists. Like who you want to do makeup on that you have not done makeup on yet.
Oh,
top 3.
That's great. Okay, top 3. Definitely Zendaya.
Okay.
I think she is absolutely stunning. Sandra Bullock.
Of course.
Because she is my favorite actress in the entire world. I own every single one of her movies. And I'll say Billy Porter.
Ooh, that would be great.
Yeah,
I did not
Billy
expect that.
Yeah, I'll say Billy Porter because I think Billy really steps outside of the box a lot.
Yeah.
And is not afraid of looks and is not afraid of, really expressing himself. And I really feel like my makeup style will lend so beautifully to him.
I told you it was going to get hot.
Yep.
If you could give me a sexual performance review, what is one area where I exceed expectations and an other area where I need professional development?
Wow. Okay. And this is supposed to be a hot take?
I'm nervous.
It's hot, all right. Okay.
Make it fast.
All right. I will say an area that you exceed expectations would probably be
Oh my God, why did I ask this?
a power bottom, if you will. There you go. That. And then an area where you could use, what was it?
Professional development.
Professional development. I would say when it comes to the reverse.
Yeah.
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 I agree. Both are correct. Who is your hall pass for me and you get to watch?
Oh boy. I would say Jesse Williams.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Who is someone in the public eye that is taking up way too much space and just needs to take a break?
Oh my God. I say this with all the love.
Mm-hmm.
All the love.
Mm-hmm.
But J-Lo.
I know.
I know. Here's the thing is I think
she's
she's stunning. I think she's beautiful. I think she's a real strong entrepreneur, but I just want her to take a break.
Reset.
Just reset. Let us kind of like
reset, come back and do a really good movie. I'm going to give you 3 makeup styles using celebrities.
Okay.
And I would like you to rank them.
Okay, so I'm not ranking the celebrity.
You're not ranking the celebrity, the style of makeup.
Okay, all right.
So let's go worst to best.
Okay.
So the 3 styles are Chappell Roan.
Okay, so like a draggier type makeup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kim Kardashian.
Okay, yep. Full glam.
Full beat.
Okay.
And Alicia Keys, like a no makeup.
Okay, now, I was, honestly, I'm going to put at the bottom of this, probably the Chappell Roan.
Okay.
I think that there's a really beautiful ability to do that style of makeup, but it just doesn't work on everybody.
Yeah, and this is your personal preference.
And it's my personal preference. And it's something that I can do, but it's not my favorite to do.
Okay.
Then in the middle there, I would honestly say a no makeup. I love a no makeup. I did a lot of New York Fashion Week. It's a lot of no makeup. Skin is my thing. So totally, I do love that. However, I do love a full glam. I love a full glam because I think, red carpets are fantastic. You can do a lot more with a full glam than you can with a no makeup. But you can, if you do the full glam correctly, it's going to look like a mush of all 3, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. Well, you survived Husbantr hot takes.
Oh my God, I survived.
Yeah, they were really hot though.
They really were super spicy.
Getting to know you.
Well, I know you know me, but thank you for all those really thoughtful questions.
Well, next week we're turning the tables and you're interviewing me, so I wanted to set myself up for success.
That's right. I am interviewing you and I cannot wait.
Oh, I'm so excited. I will be sure to send you my writer. For all of you at home, drop in our DMs, send us an email, husbantr@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. What stories do you want to hear more of? What stories do you have? What questions do you have for us? And let us know what you think about the show so far.
Yes, absolutely. And you can follow us on Instagram at Husbantr, HUSB as in boy, ANTR. And you can actually visit us online at husbanterpodcast.com, where you can check out our latest episodes. And there's a special little banter tab. You click on that and you can submit your questions and your thoughts and concerns and all of that jazz. So don't be afraid to get there.
Hopefully you have no concerns.
Hopefully not.
We also want to send a special thanks to
my very good friend, our good friend, season 1 associate producer, Dan King. Thank you so much. Without your help, we would not be able to have gotten this off the ground.
That's right. Thank you so much, Dan. And remember, everyone, life is better with a little banter. Husbantr is hosted, written, and produced by David and J. Brandon Correa.
And our theme song is Snap Bracelet by Brain Tam. You can check them out on Instagram at brain__tam.